Welcome aboard, it's Captain G. This is Newblood, 17.1, July of 1944, Japan. So this is potentially Japan's last turn. Again, at the end of round 17, the US begins rolling for the end of the game. So Japan will roll on the red dice, improved factory at a 7+, the white dice, amphibious doctrine 7+, and with the green dice, large ship construction at an 8+.
Green.
So just large ship construction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not going to get that amphibious doctrine. All right, so Japan has 67 IPP cash on hand. We're buying 2 jet fighters for 24. We're going to complete 2 battleships for 4 each and move a 3rd battleship forward 1 more stage. That's a total of 3 battleships times 4 is 12, so that takes us to 36. We're going to finish 1 of the 2 light carriers, so that brings us to 39. 2 Marines at 8 take us to 47. 2 infantry at 3 each is 6, that's 53. We're going to build 4 militia for 8, that takes us to 61, and then 3 militia upgrades, that is another 6, that takes us to 67, remainder 0. We have a free coastal artillery we're going to place in Atukiska, and if we complete our attack successfully and complete the bonus, we should get a free factory and an airbase, both of which we plan to construct in Siam. All right, moving on to combat. We have 3 combat terms, 3 combats on the board this turn. The first here is in Delhi. It is a city that's completely surrounded by the Germans and the Japanese. So the defending militia will be at a -1 rather than a plus. And going up against that 1 militia will have 1 Marine, 1 infantry, and 1 armor from Benares. The militia defends at a 1, and 1 is also target select for being in the city, so we're going to assume that he'll hit the armor, so hopefully he won't. The next attack, this is in British Malaya. We're doing our bonsai charge attack to hopefully complete Asia for Asians. So the British Malayan Army is here on this card. We're bringing in 1 Marine and 6 infantry from Siam, attacking by ground, so no impact to the coastal artillery, but I will put the fortification there with the British Malayan, so we'll remember to roll for that. Additionally, the strategic bomber from Java will fly 1, 2. We have a fighter in Quichao that is flying 1, 2, 3, 4, and has 1 movement left. We have in Honshu Air Base 2 jet fighters that are flying 1 P-15, 2 P-32, 3 P-41, 4 P-50, 5 onto British Malaya. They'll each have 1 movement left. So that is the battle for Singapore. And then our Tora battle will be the battle for the first battle for Pearl Harbor, but Japan is going to invade. So from the Marshall Islands, just move this slightly and then we'll put it back so you can see the roll. So from the Marshall Islands Task Force, we have 3 destroyers that are moving down, each carrying 1 of the Marines on the Marshall Islands. They'll be landing. And then from the Midway Island Task Force, we have 2 transports that will be carrying 3 Marines and 1 infantry. So that's 7 ground units. Supporting those 7 ground units, we're going to have 7 naval units firing naval gunfire support or shore bombardment. That is the 3 heavy cruisers and the 4 battleships. So the 4 battleships will come up, 1 from P-22 with the 1 heavy cruiser, and then the 2 heavy cruisers up in P-47, 1, 2 will come down. And then finally, all of the Japanese naval air. So the jet fighter from P-42 will fly 1, 2. And then the aircraft in P-47 will fly 1, 2, 3. And the plan is for them to land on the carrier task force that will move in non-combat to the space. Okay, so those are the 3 battles. We have them lined up. And we've conferred with Lancer Bolt. If the naval gunfire support hits 3 hits, its first strike, the battle's over, obviously. If he only gets 1 hit, he'll lose the militia if it's naval gunfire support. If he gets 2 hits, he'll lose the militia and the AA. If all of them miss, or now we're hitting with air and ground units, then the first hit will be on the AA, then the militia and the infantry. So he wants to do it so that way he gets a shot at our air, which is a good defensive strategy on his part. All right, let's start with the simple battle in Dehli, where we have the Marine and the infantry. So 2 2s.
Oh. 1 hit.
We got a 1 and a 6, so that is enough to finish the infantry. Let's go ahead and roll the armor, medium armor.
1.
Also a 1. Oh, good. Hopefully that gets the 1s out of your system. And we're going to roll for the Dehli infantry.
4.
Okay, good. The odds of rolling 3 1s were hopefully in our favor. So that takes care of the Dehli infantry. Put him in the dead box. And that moves the FEC down 1. That moves Japan up 1 more. All right, the next battle will be, you can still see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is still, okay. So let's roll the first round. There are no first strikes. We're going to roll the 3 carpet bomb from the regular strategic bomber.
Actually, these are first strike, right? But that's on defense.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll,
all miss?
all miss. Okay. So it only gets to participate in the first round, and it'll land in the Philippine Islands. Now, to your point, Eggman, let's do the first strike. So 2 at 5.
12 and 6.
12 and 6. So no hits. All right. So now we have 7 2s, because we checked. It is jungle, which does not impact infantry, but it is not mountain. Okay. And I checked with Lancer Bolt and Mark the Shark, and Mark concurred. All right, so 7 2s.
1.
1 hit. Okay, so that's 1 casualty. Now let's do the fighter at a 6.
6.
All right, so that's a second hit. And then the 2 jets at 8.
6 and 2.
Our flying Japanese battleships. That completes all the casualties we needed that first round. So we already fired the fortification, so we get 4 6s because there are advanced 2 in the first round for the Gurkhas.
2 hits.
4 5 7 9, so 2 hits. So we're going to lose 2 infantry. It'll come off the red chip, and then the Japanese army will move in and take over British Malaya. So that destroys the artillery, the fortification, and all 4 Gurkhas. And we have surviving the battle 4 infantry out of the 6 and 1 Marine. and we will land the air on non-combat. Okay. The third battle of our little Japanese turn here is the amphibious assault on the island of Hawaii. In port, there is one U.S. transport. So after the battle, if the Japanese are successful, we'll have to roll for capture or destroy. So I just placed that there so we don't forget. Okay. So first strike, we have 4 Japanese battleships at 4. Now this is first strike attack.
1 hit.
1 hit. All right, so Lancer Bolt said that would be his militia, keeping his AA to shoot at our aircraft. 3 heavy cruisers at 2s.
1 hit.
1 hit. All right, so that destroyed the anti-air. That saves our planes from even being shot at. All right, so that's the first strike. Now they're going ashore. So we have 6 Marines and 1 infantry. All at 2s.
None.
None. All right. So let's roll the jet fighter and see if our flying battleship can get a hit at an 8 or less.
12.
Oh, nope. All right. We have the 2 tactical bombers at 7.
9, 7.
No. Oh, we rolled those already, right? Did we got a hit on a 1 or a 2?
On what?
Did we roll the infantry yet? We did.
Yeah.
We did. We missed.
Yeah, we missed all of them.
Okay. I'm just now remembering that I had a note here that Hawaii is mountainous, so we would only hit on 1. So I'm glad we missed them all, so it doesn't really matter. All right. So then our last chance to kill that infantry.
Well, we just killed him with the attack.
Oh, you got a hit? I
yeah,
missed
we'll
it.
overkill.
No. Okay. So it will overkill with the 3 fighters at 6.
1 hit.
Okay. So got the infantry. Sorry, I got distracted because I suddenly realized my note about the mountains. So let's go ahead and roll his 4 against our invading force.
11.
Okay, so the Marines survive. So that is it for Hawaii. So the ship 1 to 9 is destroyed. 10, 11, 12, it is captured.
1.
Destroyed. All right, the crew scuttled it rather than turn it over to the hated Japanese. All right, so no casualties. Outstanding. That moves Japan up 2 as well, and the Americans down 2. So that completes all of our combat. So non-combat. All right, so we didn't lose any aircraft. So we don't have to do anything with our carriers here. We will move this entire Kido Butai down. So that consists of both fleet carriers. And we're going to land a jet and a tactical bomber on 1. And a fighter and a tactical bomber on the other. We're also bringing down the 2 light cruisers that will stay with the Kido Butai. The carrier from Midway will move up and join the Kido Butai task force. Both task forces are going to be on the same place, but we're just sorting them because they have different missions perhaps beyond this. So that's the Kido Butai. And then on the surface task force, we have the 2 subs, the destroyer, the other 3 destroyers. As we're moving up everything from Midway up there. So we'll have, with this task force, both task forces being in the same sea zone, all 4 battleships, all 3 heavy cruisers, both transports, 4 destroyers, all 3 fleet submarines. The coastal submarine is not going to move. Okay, all other Japanese naval units will converge like a very overly complicated World War II Japanese plan. Lots of moving parts, okay? So that completes that movement. Coming back to this port in Rihi, where we have 2 transports. All right, in P14, one transport is going to move to is going to do a strategic naval movement. So they're going to go to P15, pick up the 2 Marines. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and drop them off at the port on the island of Sumatra. Okay, let me slide this back a little bit so there's no confusion. So the 2 Marines are being strategically naval moved to the island of Sumatra on that transport. The remaining transport will go 1, 2 back into port and bring over the mountain infantry in Honshu into Rihi. The mountain infantry that was in Rihi will move over to Suyan to join the other 4 mountain infantry and 2, hopefully that's in camera, I think so, here in Suyan. Also moving to Suyan, we have the 2 infantry in Beiping. We're leaving the 3rd. They're moving in. The 3rd that was in Beiping is going to rail to Quichao to replace the 1 infantry from Quichao that's going to walk down to Quichao. What's this one? Kwangtung. Sorry. So we rail to Kwangtung and the 1 infantry walks to Quichao. So we end up with still 2 there, none there, and we're adding 1 to the task force in Kwangtung, which I'll swap these out so they're in order. All right, so we're just adding the 1 infantry here. Also, from I-11, I think the jet's on it, yep. The destroyer, now that this sea zone's been cleared, moving 1, 2 will join the battle cruiser and the transport. And these 2 transports will move 1, 2, 1, 2, and they'll bring with them 1 infantry out of Calcutta and drop them off in Borneo. Okay. The aircraft in British Malaya will all land in Siam. So a fighter and 2 jets will all land in Siam. And did the Rihi move. We did the Beiping move. We did the ports. We did Calcutta. Oh, the seaplane in Okinawa will fly back to Borneo after just having been relocated for some R&R and some time with family. Okay, we didn't do that. Strategic bomber landed in the Philippines Islands already. We moved all the fleets. So I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Heck, we decided to leave them there, right? As our QRF for China. He came over. The other guy went down. So we added that, and that. I think that's everything. Okay, so let's place units. So the 2 new battleships are going to be built at the major shipyard right outside of Nagasaki in Kyushu. They're going to go in port. So we're going to add them to the port there in Kyushu. Additionally, this will be my little shipyard port. The light carrier will be built in the same port and stay in the shipyard. So 2 battleships and 1 light carrier there. The other battleship will just move up 1 stage on the production chart. We have the 2 jet fighters, the airbase in Honshu. We have the 2 Marines in Kyushu. No, in Honshu as well, with the jet fighters. Okay. We have the 2 infantry. 1 infantry will be built in Calcutta. The 2nd infantry will go into Rihi. So I'll trade a chip for a guy and put him in Rihi. So 2 infantry that we built, 1 in Calcutta, 1 in Rihi. Now, the 3 existing militia in Sumatra, Java, and Borneo are the 3 upgrades. So they will become infantry. And then 3 of the 4 new militia will replace the 3 militia that were just upgraded, leaving only the 4th militia to be placed. And they will go into Western Manchuria. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 militia. And then the coastal artillery, as we said, in Atukiska. And because we've now earned this bonus, we're going to place a factory in Siam, a minor factory in Siam, as well as an airbase where our fighter and jet fighters are conveniently placed. So for income, Japan had an income of 52. We went up 2 for British Malaya, 1 for Delhi, that's 3, and it moved the FEC down 3. We also moved 2 up for Hawaii, so that's 5, so it takes us from 52 to 57. And then our major bonuses, British Malaya is 2 and Hawaii is 2. So that brings us from 6 to 10 in that bonus income. And our China and minor island bonuses are 9. So that's 19 bonuses plus the 57 income gives us cash on hand next turn of 76 IPP if there is a next turn. So that wraps up what hopefully is not the last Japanese turn, but if it is, it was a lot of fun playing it. On behalf of Eggman, I'm Captain G. Next up, we're going to turn you over to Lancerbolt for Great Britain and Free France. Over and out.